Greetings and smiles. My name is Brandon Heath Jones. Brandon means bearer of light or beacon on a hill. Heath means wasteland, a low, flat, grassy floodplain, moor, marsh, fen, swamp, or mire. So my name means bearer of light in a wasteland, or beacon on a hill in a swamp, which is a nice image that I've tried to aspire to. Now, Jones is my surname, my family name, and it's quite common. Quite common, in fact, that there's at least 100 to 150 gentlemen, also named Brandon Heath Jones, who are wandering the planet at this very moment. So to distinguish myself from these other gentlemen, you may call me Uncle Clockwork. Why Uncle Clockwork? Well, a little obvious. I'm what they call a steampunk nowadays. Of course, steampunk is a modern term. 90 years ago, Manly P. Hall would have called me an occultist. 60 years ago, Dr. J.B. Rhine would have called me a parapsychologist. Almost 30 years ago, people were calling me a Tremere. Well, that's a bit of a stretch, more of a son of ether, really. Of course, it was the 90s and everybody was into the masquerade, except for a few of us, which were more concerned with the awakening. But a few years ago, probably about a decade or so, people started calling me a steampunk. And I figured, well, if the bowler fits, I'll wear it. So, steampunk it is, and Uncle Clockwork am I. So what does Uncle Clockwork do? Well, in my everyday life, I'm a butler. That's right, a butler. Like Alfred Pennyworth. Not like Cadbury or Jeeves. Think of me more like Tim Curry and less Sebastian Cabot. I've been working for the same family for about 20 years. And I've developed some mad domestic skills. So I might end up sharing some of those with you. Now, I have a background in professional theater and religious studies. An odd combination, I know. But as a teenager in my youth, I actually enjoyed a fairly successful career in professional theater and pursued that as into a Bachelor of Fine Arts in Theatrical Studies with a acting concentration. And then I switched it up a bit in the 90s and started pursuing an interest in religious studies and theology. More in an attempt to expand my own consciousness. I'm not a Bible thumper or anything like that. I pursue my studies with the intent of a scientist. A weird scientist, yes, but a scientist nonetheless. I like to dissect new mythologies and new religions like a botanist would dissect a new flower, I guess. I have an interest in ancient wisdom and forbidden knowledge and lost civilizations. Being inspired as a youth by the movie Raiders of the Lost Ark. With a last name like Jones, it was kind of hard not to be inspired by Indiana. So every now and then I might share a little bit of information that comes my way regarding these subjects. But primarily, my main interest is in toys. Building toys, small gadgets and props, and seeking out vintage toys and reuniting them with people that may have lost them as a child. I call myself a time-traveling toy collector because what I do is I hunt through time, antique shops, vintage stores, flea markets, and I find old toys that have been neglected or lost, fix them up, and find people who enjoy them and reunite them with that toy, because I feel like inside it's important for all of us to not lose that inner child. And toys help us reconnect with that inner child. So, you'll see me do a lot of little unboxings of vintage products that I find, or new gadgets that I make. And that essentially will be what Uncle Clockwork will be doing from this point on. If you like it, great, stick around. We'll have some fun, because that's always what we're here for. Entertainment and amusement. If you don't like it, just move on. No sense in adding to the hate that's already in the world. There's enough of that going on. But if you're just in here for a laugh, want to see some cool things, Want to see something you hadn't seen in a while? Be introduced to something new? Well, that's what I'm here for. Old Uncle Clockwork. So, come back. Stick around. Check me out. You might have some fun. Until next time, that's Uncle Clockwork, clocking out.